Hello, you are most welcome. I'm Teacher Ivan from Wuna Educational Services. Wuna Educational Services brings to you online lessons via our YouTube channels, which include Teacher Ivan online class, Wuna e-learning platform, and Wuna Kids platform, where we post children's work. Please search for our channels, subscribe, share, comment, so that we make your learning easy. On Facebook, we have pages and groups for discussion, and also we post lesson notes and topical revision questions. Please join us. We discuss to make your learning simple and fun. Today, we shall look at how we find Lcm and Hcf or GCF. So, we shall look at Lcm and Hcf stroke GCF. What is Lcm? Lcm means lowest common multiple. Lowest common multiple. Now, our keyword is multiple. What is a multiple? I can define multiple as the result you get when you multiply a number by another number. For instance, let us look at multiples of 3. Multiples of 3. Multiples of 3 are obtained by multiplying 3 by other numbers. So, when we multiply 3 by other numbers, what we get, those are the multiples of 3. We can also look at the multiples of 4. We have 4 times 1 giving us 4. 4 times 2 giving us 8. 4 times 3 giving us 12. 4 times 4 giving us 16. So, those numbers that we get after multiplying a number by other numbers are what we call multiples. Now, let us look at the lowest common multiple. Lowest common multiple is got after listing the multiples of some given numbers. For instance, let us look at how we shall get the lowest common multiple of 3 and 4. Lowest common multiple of 3 and 4. We have listed the multiples of 3 and we also have the multiples of 4. But out of these multiples, we have the common multiples. That in our multiples, we have 12 as the common. But we can also have as many as possible. For instance, we have 20, 24, because 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 6 is also 24. So 24 is also a common multiple. However, we are interested in the lowest, which is 12. So that is how we get the lowest common multiple. We can list the multiples of the numbers and then determine or choose the lowest. Or we can also use the ladder method, whereby we bring our numbers and decompose them to 1. That's say we shall divide these numbers until they are all exhausted. But we divide using prime numbers. In our first lesson, we looked at what prime numbers are. These are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and so on. Those are prime numbers. So when we are using the ladder method, we use prime numbers. Now, if we divide by 2, 3 cannot be. So it retains its position, and 4 is broken down to 2. Still by 2 shall get 3 and 1. So 4 has been decomposed fully to 1. Then 3 can also go by 3 to give us 1, and we already have 1 there. So after decomposing these numbers to 1, we multiply what we could call the decomposers or the divisors. And therefore, our LCM could be 2 times 2 times 3 to give us 12. So we can use the ladder method to give us the LCM, or we can also use the listing method. But with the listing method, sometimes the numbers given to us are higher. So it is time consuming if we are to use the listing method. So the advice could be we use the ladder method to decompose fully the numbers and multiply the divisors. That's how we get LCM. Let us look at how we get the HCF or GCF. The HCF stroke GCF means HCF stands for highest common factor. Highest common factor. And GCF stands for greatest common factor. Sometimes we even call it greatest common divisor, GCD, which is greatest common divisor. How do we get these? Now, in LCM, we were dealing with the multiple. In HCF, we are dealing with factor. A factor of a number are those numbers that we multiply to get that number, or the numbers which divide a given number without leaving a remainder. For instance, if we look at factors of 6, these are the numbers that we multiply to get 6, or the numbers that divide 6 and leave no remainder. That is to say, we have 3 times 2, we get 6. We also have 6 times 1 to give us 6. So those are the numbers that we multiply to get 6, and the numbers that divide 6 to get no remainder. Meaning that the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6 itself. Then we can also look at the factors of 8. That is to say, the numbers we multiply to get 8, that is 8 times 1, then 4 times 2, so that we get 8, 8. And the factors of 8 here are 1, 2, 4, and 8 itself. Now, we have the factors of 6 and the factors of 8. Now, let us look at the highest common factor. If you look at the factors of 6 and 8, we have two common factors. We have 1 and we also have 2. Those are common factors. But we are interested in the highest. Therefore, the highest common factor of 6 and 8 equals to 2. That is how we get the HCF or GCF or GCD. However, we also use the ladder method. How? This is how it does. We write 6 and 8. Then we divide by the prime factors. But on one condition, and this is so important, as we are dividing these numbers to get the highest common factor, we must consider only those factors that can divide both. If they can't divide both, then we don't use such factors. For instance, we have a 2 divides both to give us 3 and 4. After getting 3 and 4, we have no other number that divides the 2 apart from 1. And remember, we are using prime factors, so we shall not divide by 1 because it's not a prime factor. That means, since we have no other prime factor that can divide the two numbers, we stop there and we shall say our HCF equals to 2. That is how we use the ladder method in finding the HCF and the LCM. Let us look at the example. They might be asking us to find the LCM and HCF of 24, 28, and 36. Find the LCM and HCF of 24, 28, and 36. Let us start with LCM. Here we shall use the ladder method because it saves time. So, in finding LCM of the 3, we must decompose these 3 numbers using their prime factors. That is to say, we have 24, we have 28, and 36. By 2, we get 12, we get 14, we get 18. Still by 2, we get 6, 7, 9. Still by 2, we get 3, 7, and 9. 2 can no longer go. So we go to 3, which is our next prime factor. So that is 1, 7, and 3. Still by 3 we get 1, 7, 1. Then 7 can only be taken by 7. So we get 1, 1. So we are decomposing these numbers to 1. And after the LCM is given by the product of the divisors. That's say 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 7. So that gives us 8 times, that is 63. And now for HCF, we shall use the same method, that is the ladder method, but keeping in mind that for HCF we only use common prime factors. That is to say, we have 24, 28, and 36. We only use those prime factors that divide all the numbers. That is to say, we have to give us 12, 14, and 18. Still 2 can help us to give us 6, 7, 9. Now, when you reach at this point, we have 6, 7, 8, 9. There is no other prime factor that can divide the 3. And therefore, we shall stop there and say our HCF equals to 2 times 2, which is 4. That becomes the HCF, or the highest common factor of the 3 numbers. That is how we find highest common factor and the lowest common multiple. Thank you. We meet next time. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with others. We meet next time.